One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to Zanis News and thank you so much for joining us. To present it, I'm Michelle Lubinda. The headlines. NCZ awarded contract to supply fertilizer. Mwense District procures earth-moving equipment. Western NGO hands over biogas facility. And Norwegian Danish Church Aid celebrate 10 years in Zambia. The details. Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia in Kafue District has been tasked to produce and supply over 47,000 metric tons of fertilizer under the Farmer Input Support Program. Minister of Agriculture Mutolo Piri says this is to allow the country increase production of food. More in the following report.
Minister of Agriculture Mutolo Piri says government has put modalities in place to ensure that vulnerable but viable small-scale farmers benefit from the subsidized farming inputs. Mr. Piri said government's desire is to see to it that targeted beneficiaries receive the subsidized farming inputs, hence the resolve by the Minister of Agriculture to thoroughly screen the list of applicants. The Agriculture Minister emphasized this when he flagged off the distribution of farming inputs for the 2022-2023 farming season at Kafue Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia.
When we say that we are going to use the agricultural farmers list and measure it on the payroll database of government, we are not saying that you are not going to be given the fertilizer. We are saying we don't want civil servants to be recipients of this fertilizer. So by taking this information on the payroll for government, we want to isolate the civil servants who are getting this fertilizer.
Meanwhile, Mr. Piri has assured management at Kafue Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia of continued financial support from the government.
We are not going to allow this investment to go to waste, because when we see it, whilst others see scrap metal, for us, we see a mechanism for production, and we will make sure that this mechanism is uplifted.
And Kafue Nitrogen Chemicals board chairperson said the company is ready to double the production of fertilizer output.
It's the first time that we are receiving this tonnage over 47,000 metric tons. And so please extend our appreciation to government, that as NCZ we are delighted to have received this tonnage.
Farmers who witnessed the flagging off of the distribution of farming inputs expressed gratitude to government. The news of government's commitment to support Kafue Nitrogen Chemicals has been well received by stakeholders.
Delighted at the minister's pronouncement that they will continue supporting nitrogen chemicals to produce fertilizers. This is an exciting news for us at Buy Z campaign, who are championing advocates of the buy local.
Kafue Nitrogen Chemicals has been engaged by government to supply fertilizer to 3 provinces, namely Central, Lusaka, and Copperbelt respectively. Kafue Nitrogen Chemicals has been engaged by government to supply fertilizer to 3 provinces, namely Central, Lusaka, and Copperbelt respectively. For Zanis, I'm Lakson Makodza.
We now take you to Copperbelt Province, where government says culture is important in safeguarding heritage and for the promotion of tourism. Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo said this in a speech read for him by Deputy Permanent Secretary Daniel Kamenga during the Angola-Zambia Friendship Day in Ndola. Here is a report by Clara Kawimbe.
The World Tourism Day, which was on September 27th every year, has commenced with a number of activities. In Ndola, the Ministry of Tourism held a side event where it hosted the Zambia-Angola Friendship Week. The event brought together musical and cultural groups from the 2 sister countries to showcase different cultural endowments and traditional foods, among others.
It is important for us to realize that culture is an important sector, not only in the safeguarding of our cultural heritage, but also tourism and development. Events like the one we are having today play a very important role in tourism development. and consequently employment and wealth creation amongst the producers and cultural goods and services.
Head of delegation from Angola underscores the importance of the two countries coming together.
We brought our queens and kings is to say that before the republic has been established, we were peoples of the kingdoms. And now that we have progressed to a republic as a way of managing our interests worldwide, we shall never forget who we came before we became. We came as people, loved by our queens and kings. Today, we still, the people, shall be loved by our queens and kings and trust our governments as political leaders to run properly our resources.
The traditional leadership from both countries were present at the event.
Traditional leaders are the custodians of tradition and culture. We are there to ensure that tradition and culture are preserved. Nation that has no tradition, nation that has no culture, has no identity. And that's why, as the kings, the traditional leadership, we are there to ensure that culture, tradition is preserved.
The theme for this year's World Tourism Day is Rethinking Tourism. Clara Kawembe reporting for Zanis in Ndola.
Still on the Copperbelt province, the Zambia Airports Corporation Limited has conducted the first full-scale emergency mock drill at Simon Mwansakapwepo International Airport. The mock drill is aimed at testing the airport's preparedness and how best the response team can manage and stabilize a crisis when an emergency occurs. More in the following report.
Simon Mwansakapwepo International Airport in Ndola has conducted a mock drill along with various internal and external stakeholders. This is the first time the airport is conducting an emergency mock drill to assess its preparedness in case of emergency, such as a plane crash, since it began operating last year. A demonstration to extinguish the fire, rescue the survivors, and find the bodies of the passengers who were on board was conducted.
We're almost a year old in terms of when this airport was first commissioned and also was deemed operational. So this is actually an historic event because it's the first time that we're doing a mock drill at Simon Mwansakapwepo International Airport.
It is a requirement by the International Civil Aviation Organization and the International Air Transport Association for every international airport to have an emergency response team in place.
This drill is required as per provisions of national regulations, which is Zambia Civil Aviation Requirements Part 14, and the International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO, Annex 14. And its objective is to test the airport's preparedness in the event of an emergency occurring and how best to manage the emergency.
The airport carried out full-scale treat drill for close to 2 hours without causing any inconvenience or impact on the facility's operations.
We ensure as a regulator, we want to provide that assurance in the case or in the unlikely case of a calamity, like the case that we had where we had a Code 3 and a Code 1 emergency.
The staged airport crisis will pinpoint any shortcomings to refine the airport emergency response plan. Nelly Bota reporting for Zanis in Ndola.
We move to Luapula province, where the Milenge Town Council has procured earth-moving equipment worth over 3.8 million kwacha. The equipment has been procured under the 2022 Constituency Development Funds. Kennedy Chomba filed in this report.
The state of roads in Milenge district have for a long time now been a source of concern. To address the poor state of roads in the district, the council has procured earth-moving equipment. Luapula Province Minister Derek Shirundika has officially handed over the equipment with a call for proper use.
The procurement of the equipment is in line with the United Party for National Development agenda of empowering the local communities to have a voice on critical decisions. The increase in CDF has given a voice to the people and triggered a number of programs and projects in the district. Community participation in decision-making process of procuring the earth-moving equipment at a huge amount of money is not a small thing the district have achieved.
Chief Sokontwe is happy that the cry of the people has not been heard.
Hii mashini tuletotera mwentungulusi chonse lekeni tuwombepo ekintu kimo ikyakwebanga twabomba twasera pali ata twabwekerepo liyo insto yakuti ati namairo mwabombera pona mairo no twanaka.
While in the district, the minister also took time to interact with staff at Menenge Boarding Secondary School.
It's 8 hours policy. Why should you dodge from school? It's not just being in class. There can be an assignment where they would want you to assist in running the school. Now they tell you it's 8 hours policy. Because you only have 2 periods to teach, after that you sneak out of school, they charge you at Varetuting.
Kenneth Chomba, reporting for Zanis News in Menenge District.
Zanis News continues. Kabwe Town Clerk Jovax Ngoma has called for timely and consistent delivery of services to the clients. Mr. Ngoma says the local authority exists to provide quality services. We have the details in this report.
Kabwe Municipal Council has formulated the first ever service charter. Assistant Public Relations Manager Nancy Chenga says the charter outlines the standards that the local authority will be anchored on. Ms. Chenga adds that the charter also defines what people should expect from the municipality in terms of service delivery.
We are talking about very important procedures and figures, charges and fees that the public got to know, public got to be aware. Just there and then, even before they come to the local authority. They should just be waiting. Once we beam an advert, we expect people to know the procedure and the fees, if they are not for the plots, but certain charges for certain procedures. How do we hope as planning departments to change this perception that the public have about our local authority planning department?
During the formulation process, various departments were accorded an opportunity to make presentations.
You have been given a plot, or council has offered you a plot in a high cost area, and you want to move ahead and start building. Number one, we'll look at the client's responsibility. You're supposed to prove that you've got ownership of that land, or that land was offered to you. Then you're supposed to have your building plans. These are supposed to be endorsed by a registered architect or a planner who's got membership from the relevant authorities. You're also supposed to have the structure plans. Now when you come to the council, they are going to submit your applications, and the fees will vary according to the plot that you have been offered.
And the Kabwe Municipal Council Director of Public Health, Christopher Mtonga, says the local authority must be connected to the people of Kabwe to achieve real-time information for improved service delivery.
It's important that we stick to what we are going to formulate here. People are always eager and waiting to see proactiveness in what we do. Therefore, we must be connected with the people of Kabwe and the public at large through how we service their needs with real-time information, online services, by phone and in person. Our commitment to them must be excellent with prompt, friendly and ongoing customer service.
In other news, Oxfam has started training women and youth clubs in Itezi district in economic empowerment and use of constituency development funds, CDF. The 2-day intensive training program covers a variety of topics meant to add knowledge to the youth and women. Details in this report.
Economic empowerment for women allows them to reach their full potential and advances sustainable development. With the introduction of a larger constituency development fund aimed at empowering cooperatives, ensuring that recipients get the most out of these grants has become critical. This is why Oxfam and Itezi Constituency Office have teamed up to educate women and youth clubs in Itezi about economic empowerment and the use of constituency development funds. Itezi District Administrative Officer advises CDF recipients.
Some people, we are thinking when they are given grants or loans, it's just to share and there is no activity on the ground. And I want to believe that that is why we are here for this training workshop. What we want is for us to utilize this CDA prudently.
Her Future, Her Choice project coordinator explains why his organization wants to train women.
So we hope that this meeting will add value to this process that the government already started. We are partners with government and the departments that are here to ensure that the process that the government has embarked on really benefits the people that deserve it.
Meanwhile, participants have praised the training and Oxfam for organizing it.
Tuli ku meeting seminar ya kupunzira business. Seminar amene tilimo yotipunzisa business kulingana na ndrama zetu napasiwa kuli government ya UPND.
We applied our project proposal was about goat rearing. So we are here to be trained for a 2-day workshop. I'm happy for this CCDF money which has given for us as a pledge from our president, who doesn't want some youth, women's and other organizations to be suffered.
Frederick Mwansa, Zanis, Itestezi.
In Western Province, a farmer in Nalolo district has received a biogas facility from a local NGO for easy access to sustainable sources of energy. Receiving the facility on behalf of the farmer, Nalolo District Administrative Officer Muya Inambao says the facility will enable people move to greener economy. Sifue Mwangala now reports.
As effects of climate change continue to affect the livelihood of people, a number of non-governmental organizations are coming up with innovations to assist communities cope with the impact. One such organization is People in Need Zambia, who has handed over a biogas facility to a farmer in Nalolo district. Speaking when he handed over the facility, Nalolo District Administrative Officer Muya Inambao, who spoke on behalf of the district commissioner, said it was time to transform Western Province to a clean and sustainable energy and food secure province.
Time has come for us to transition to green economy. While the government is continuously working on creating enabling conditions for green economy, we, the people that are recipients, should not be hesitant to lead the way. Let's take this initiative to transition Western Province to a clean and sustainable energy and food secure province.
And People in Need project manager Kopi Kamona said the main objective of the project was to enhance the adaptive capacity and the resilience of the small-scale farmers to climate change.
The main objective of this project is to enhance the adaptive capacity and the resilience of the small-scale farmers to climate change and its effects. We pray and hope that the Nalolo district and the Western Province at large will start using this source of energy, because we've been using unsustainable sources of energy which has contributed to climate change.
The biogas facility beneficiary, Jen Akamandisa, urged other small-scale farmers to start using gas energy.
Small farmers kubunolwaho nikwipungera ntu yesu anangeye kakuli kintu eko mokisa ape ni kwape ya stock ya 10 yangu fa hulu zazira pili bususo bwaka ne buchire nakone ni sana hana kuli mwendicho ani kuzibali mbaola zene ni tusisa kutufumana lote senikomoka kuli kanti ape kichwana chole kona kuli tabayani ya malasha ke nizwa kwa 10.
Sifue Mwangala reporting from Nalolo district in Western Province.
In Northwestern Province, Solwezi Mayor Remy Kalapa has called on the community to clean their surroundings and dispose of garbage in designated places. Mr. Kalapa also called on traders to ensure business areas are cleaned up before the onset of the rainy season. Here are the details.
The local authority in Solwezi district has continued to engage community members and marketeers in ensuring the town is clean before onset of the rainy season. Solwezi Mayor Remy Kalapa leads a team of marketeers and other stakeholders to clean the mini market.
Our people need to start looking at cleanliness that starts within themselves. They don't need to wait for the local authority to come and do the cleaning. Cleaning has to start by themselves. each and every citizen has got a responsibility to make sure that whatever waste that they generate, it is being put in the right place. Let us start cleaning our homes and making sure that our surroundings are maintained. And this will also reduce on issues to do with, we are getting to the rain season. We have issues to do with cholera. We have issues to do with other diseases like malaria. So when we maintain our surroundings, I think we are going to reduce the issues that to end up making our environment not to be very conducive.
The stakeholders appeal to marketeers to ensure they trade in clean environment.
Emphasizing all marketeers to make sure to say where they are working from, it's a clean and a safe place, because when they are working on a clean and safe place, it will be easy to attract customers.
When we look at human rights, there's a right which says we have a right to live in a safe and healthy environment. Now, we shouldn't be waiting for someone else to do that for us. Therefore, it's high time that we participate so that we live in that safe environment.
Marketeers are happy with the engagement. Emma Zulu, reporting for Zanis News in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
The news continues. The Ministry of Community Development and Social Services has empowered 353 women in Mwansabombwe District with grants under the Supporting Women Livelihood Program. District Community Development Officer Elizabeth Musesa says each beneficiary received a 2-month installment of over 3,000 kwacha. More in the following report by Lewis Changwe.
The Department of Community Development in Mwansabombwe District is implementing a Supporting Women Livelihood SWL project. This is a World Bank funded project whose aim is to reduce poverty by empowering women with grants and knowledge in life skills and business. So far, 353 women have received the funds.
Phase 4 beneficiaries under the Supporting Women Livelihoods project of the Dual project started receiving their second installment funds, which is equivalent to 1,895 kwacha. The total amount is actually 3,790 kwacha, and it comes in 2 installments. The first installment was received in the month of July, and the second installment just came. They started receiving on the 13th of September.
The beneficiaries are grateful to the government for the financial assistance.
Impya batupele mu July shali 1895 na ino September batupele same amount, so twatotera kubuteko mwe bantu shimpya shala twafuishako kutungia mabulu ya ntanshi sokia pantanshi nokula afuisha abana ba kuma skulu bantu bambita bakwata pa kumukubuko
ishinda lama shile twafa kaili shimbi tule sevinga shakushika twafa kuntanshi shimbi tule bika makwezi abana besu badabambya balekera amaskulu nabaponene kuma baba grade 12 abengina tubawekisha kuma skulu ekyo tuleta shokutwaliro ko bacu ubuteko butwaliro kwafu abantu kulingana nefyo ubuteko abene batandika.
Lewis Changwe, Zanis, Mwansabombwe.
In a related development, Kasama District has received 39,000 kwacha for rehabilitating desks in selected schools. District Education Board Secretary Andrew Chipili disclosed that 100 desks will be worked on. More in the following report by Helen Bwalia.
The introduction of the free education policy has given hope to pupils who could not afford school fees. However, the policy has come with a number of challenges, such as inadequate desks to cater for all the learners. Government is, however, working hard to address the problem and has released 39,000 kwacha to rehabilitate desks in Kasama District. Kasama District Education Board Secretary Andrew Chipili gives more details.
The government of the Republic of Zambia under the New Dawn government has attached a lot of importance to the education sector. This can actually be evidenced through the school grants that we are receiving in our schools. Coupled with that one, we have been given again money to rehabilitate the desks because of a lot of children who have come back to school. Now we have a challenge with the furniture. So Kasama District have been given 39,000 kwacha. 39,000 kwacha that we have been given, we have decided that we just rehabilitate the desks because we cannot actually manage to make new ones.
And senior instructor for skills training at Kasama Skills, Maxwell Sawa, says the institution is organizing materials to commence the rehabilitation of school desks in the district.
We are still organizing materials to commence the works. As you can see, we have tried to source some frames from schools around, and these are the ones that are lined up outside. And then here in the workshop, this is the carpentry workshop where we are working from. We have some solid timber which we have organized. Because the challenge that we had in the last desk rehabilitation was that we used the boards, that is the multiply boards. Now these proved to be not very strong enough to sustain the lifespan of the desks, so we decided as an institution to go for solid timber.
The release of funds for rehabilitation of school desks in Kasama is testimony of government's commitment to improving the education sector. Helen Walia for Zanis in Kasama, Northern Province.
In sports news, the Norwegian and Danish church aid organizations have celebrated their existence in Zambia by organizing a sports event. The two organizations have been operating in Zambia for more than 10 years and are currently supporting over 6,000 smallholder farmers with long-term programs. Norwegian and Danish church aid country director Jonathan Leo Horwath says the organizations have been providing development and humanitarian assistance to more than 1 million people. He was speaking in Osaka today during a sports day event organized to commemorate 175 years of existence in 39 countries, respectively.
Through this programme, we're building both the economic and climate resilience of smallholder farmers for long-term development. As a result, last year, over 6,000 farmers, over 2/3 of whom are women and youths, have significantly increased their incomes. The knock-on effect of this is felt by tens of thousands of men, women, boys and girls. As household incomes rise, we've seen a reduction in malnutrition and more parents sending their children to school and able to pay for healthcare when needed. Under our Gender Justice Programme, with support from the European Union and under the leadership of the Gender Division, we're one of the partners implementing the government-led programme known as Natwampane, the single largest programme the EU has ever funded on sexual and gender-based violence in any single country.
That sporting item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. NCZ awarded contract to supply fertilizer. Mwense district procures earth-moving equipment. Western NGO hands over biogas facility. Norwegian Danish church aid celebrate 10 years in Zambia. That's all we could package. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye and God bless.